With great power comes great responsibility, and a multitude of tedious tasks. Greetings everyone, Pat Kerleys here from the Republic of Players, and today we will be taking a look at Marvel's Spider-Man, an open world action adventure game with a few RPG elements where you step into the suit of everyone's favourite webhead. Marvel's Spider-Man is a brand new adventure for the web slinger, standing strong against all other media the character has been in. The story takes place with Peter Parker in his early 20s, having a good few years as the friendly neighbourhood Spider-Man under his belt, and it shows true in how you move as Spider-Man. The story kicks off right from the beginning with a bombastic battle, with it leading into a fight against the Kingpin, who kinda looks like Dara O'Brien if he was pumped full of steroids. After that, you are allowed your freedom. From there on, you explore to your heart's content. In my opinion, the story keeps a great steady pace and ramps itself up near the end, where you have a great deal of boss fights from Spider-Man's rogue gallery, from Rhino to Electro and the more obscure like Tombstone and Mr. Negative. In all honesty though, Marvel's Spider-Man offers one of the best stories for the superhero, outdoing the movies quite easily in my opinion, and captures the characters quite expertly. All the characters in this game feel great, most with motives that are easy to understand where they are coming from and just makes them more relatable. One thing I do have to give applause to is the acting. At one point it really pulled at my emotions in ways I wasn't expecting, and Spider-Man's quippy nature, they nailed it.
Spider Cop's on it. Part man, part spider, all cop.
There are side quests and multiple objectives that you can do outside the main story, and they are a bit of a mixed bag overall. You have interesting quests on the side due challenges from Taskmaster, which can vary from following a drone that drops spheres that you need to swing through, to taking out a bunch of thugs silently and quickly. There are scores for these challenges to achieve and make them much more appealing to do. You also have quests from Harry Osborn to keep the city fresh and clean, with each of his missions being different from each other, and it makes it stand out amongst the other side quests. Then you have the random crimes that pop up all over the city, raid bases full of foes, tracking down backpacks, photographic landmarks, and side missions that, while fun to begin with, grow tiresome and repetitive way too quickly, and while I was going for 100% completion, I felt myself growing bored of the game while doing so. It's like the creators stuck their hands into a bucket of the most cliché side missions from the open world games and didn't give a second thought. One thing I have to reprimand is the backpacks littered across the city and the landmarks which are marked on the map. It makes them feel more like a chore than actual collectibles that take effort, and the sad thing is, they did handle it better with hidden photos, where once you get a certain suit modification, it will show the vague area of where to take the photo when you are near it on a map. If they had done it that way with the landmarks and backpacks, I feel a bigger sense of accomplishment would have come from it. The gameplay is rock solid all around. However, it excels in one area that is phenomenal, and that is the web slinging. It's amazing! The sense of movement and mobility is fascinating, and there's a handful of different ways to traverse through the city that becomes your playground. From web zipping to normal swinging and launching yourself off a building. It gives a cathartic feeling that is rare in games. Never did I want to use fast travel, as the pure enjoyment I took from swinging around the city was too much to pass up, and is easily one of the standout features the game has to offer. It truly makes you feel like Spider-Man. Huh. Who would have guessed? Also, parkouring is an easy one-button solution and works effectively, if at sometimes a bit janky. Being able to run up walls gives incredible momentum and allows you to always keep at an enthralling speed. Combat in the game is well handled, and the inspiration from the Batman Arkham series can be easily seen. You are able to mix up combat in the sky and on the ground, and it is a fantastic feeling with how smooth it can be. And you can always trust yourself into combat with enemies that are far apart by zipping to them with a web and continuing the combat. Your spidey senses radiate around your head when you are about to be attacked, giving you a chance to dodge out of the way. You then have gadgets which can be used for a multitude of purposes, from the basic web shooter to the more advanced options with gadgets such as the suspension matrix, which causes enemies to float in the air for several seconds, to the trip mine, which can change the way you go about when being stealthy. The gadgets aren't necessary to use, as at points I kind of forgot they were there, but they are versatile and can get you out of sticky situations if you remember them. There is a variety of costumes that you can unlock in the game, from the one everyone loves, the Red Hood Spider-Man, the I should be black, not very dark blue suit, and the one nobody likes and wants to leave the group. Each suit comes with its own ability, either a super move or a boost to Spider-Man. From jumping into the air and firing off tons of webs to lock down enemies, to strengthening yourself to do more damage, or have extra limbs to fend off enemies. A cool feature is that once you unlock a suit, you can use the power of it on any other suit, not restricting you to a costume you don't like, just so you can use that ability. Suit mods are little effects you can add to yourself. You can have 3 on all together and can adjust Spider-Man to allow him to continue a combo even if he has been hit, or take less damage from bullets. The focus meter is a clever mechanic. You fill it up by beating up the bad guys, and once you do, then you have 2 options. You either heal yourself, or you can do an instant takedown move. It creates a great balance as you decide to dwindle down the enemy force, or make sure you can heal yourself. It can lead to interesting moments within the game and make you feel like a real superhero when you take the bad guys down in a stylish manner. You then have the RPG-like elements. You gain experience and level up, growing stronger in general, along with unlocking skill points which can be used to upgrade Spider-Man. From when you dodge at the last moment and shoot out a web to keep the enemy open for attack or distracted for a handful of seconds while you deal with others, to my favourite upgrade that allows you to perform a second instant takedown on normal enemies when they are near to the first enemy you take out, making you feel like an utter badass as you beat up normal people with your enhanced Spidey strength. It's kinda messed up when you think about it. You're preying on normal people with your superpowers. You have missions outside of being Spider-Man that are a nice break sometimes. From doing puzzles as Peter Parker that are simple to understand and do, but get tricky every now and again, to doing missions where you sneak around as Miles Morales and Mary Jane, which, while fine overall, really made me want to return to being Spider-Man. That and the people you sneak around are seriously thick and should consider another profession over being guards. The soundtrack is another interesting topic to me. At the very beginning you have this fantastic piece of rock that really gets you pumped to kick ass like those big kapow signs do in comics. That music is going strong as you start swinging for the first time and head towards your first battle encounter. But after that it slips into pure orchestra, which for the most part is great. However, there seems to be a sense of repetition on some tunes that lost their appeal as I played through the game, though there are still a few that really stand on their own. I kinda wish that there were a few more bangers like the opener, not only to mix it up but to create a different vibe that would make web slinging more appealing. There is no denying how drop-dead gorgeous this game is to behold with your eyes. The level of detail is quite ridiculous as you will see well-furnished rooms through windows, the sprawling landscape and the wonderful views you can witness from high up places. This game has its fair share of problems when it comes to glitches. From enemies I knocked out stealthily hanging from absolutely nothing to motorbikes just at a standstill in the air, the game having to render scenes as they happened, all sound apart from music just disappearing altogether. And while doing a stealth mission as Mary Jane, Spider-Man would just disappear. Like, I know they have to be stealthy, but he's taken it to a whole new level. All these little inconsistencies nibble away at the game and take you out of the moment you are experiencing. Marvel's Spider-Man is a brilliant game in a lot of aspects, however it does have its fair share of problems, with mainly tedious side quests that become a chore to do, along with a similar problem with music and a number of glitches within the game. There is much that can be improved upon in updates to the game or for a sequel, fingers crossed. However, with a solid combat system that will leave you satisfied, a fantastic story that was thoroughly engaging with a fantastic and emotional finish, and the ever so enrapturing freedom that comes with swinging through New York, Marvel's Spider-Man is a must-buy game. If you're looking for games similar to Marvel's Spider-Man, I would recommend Batman Arkham Knight, Infamous Second Son, and Gravity Rush 2. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to buff that subscribe and notifications button to keep up to date with the Republic of Players, where we have a multitude of content from different creators, from first looks at games, reviews, to our weekly podcast and couch ops. Also, if you enjoy talking anything gaming, be sure to head over to our Facebook community where we talk everything gaming. That's all for now. Until next time, have a good one.